Hello guys, welcome to our in-depth analysis of biology, paper 2, Kcse 2022. Let's go straight to the first question. The first question talks about the photograph below shows an organism from a certain class of organisms. And as you see the photograph, that is a millipede. Part A, Roman 1. Name the class to which the organism belongs. And that is a class Diplopoda, because the millipedes are found under the class Diplopoda, and a D should start with a capital letter. Roman 2, using observable features from the photograph, state 2 reasons for your answer in A Roman 1 above. The reasons why you say it is under class Diplopoda, and the key term is here observable features, which are on the diagram. Number 1 is the presence of a pair of short antennae, and the word short must be there. We have these are the short antenna talking about. Then presence of 2 pairs of walking legs per segment. You can see we have 2 pairs of legs per segment. Then it has very many segments, or more than 9 segments. As you can see, the segments are very many. Then it is a cylindrical in shape, and most students confuse between class Diplopoda and class Chilopoda. The class Diplopoda, as we've looked here, an example is millipede. Then Chilopoda, we have centipede. Then the differences: while Diplopoda has a pair of short antennae, Chilopoda or the centipede has a pair of long antennae. Then Diplopoda having 2 pairs of legs per segment. On the other hand, Chilopoda or the centipede has 1 pair of legs per segment. Then the shape, Diplopoda is cylindrical, while centipede or Chilopoda, the body is dorsoventrally flattened. Then segments, it has fewer segments. The Chilopoda has fewer segments compared to Diplopoda. Roman 3, state 2 ways in which the organism is important to the environment. 2 marks. And it is important in that it decomposes the organic matter and therefore enriching soil fertility. Then apart from that, it aerates the soil through its movement or burrowing. And aeration means exchange of that oxygen, carbon dioxide, and it is achieved through the movements of this millipede, which creates space for movement of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Part B, Roman 1, name the kingdom to which bacteria belongs. Bacteria belongs to kingdom Monera. That is a capital M, should start with a capital M. And maybe some of the features, unique features of kingdom Monera. Number 1, they are prokaryotic. And that means that their organelles are not bound by a membrane, specifically the nucleus. It lacks the nuclear membrane. It means those organisms are not, or the organelles in the cell are not bound by membranes. Then another feature, which is unique, lacks most cell organelles, for example mitochondria, rough endoplasmic reticulum. Then in this kingdom, they have a cell made up of murine. Roman 2, name 2 bacterial diseases in human beings. We have very many. For example, cholera, syphilis, typhoid, tuberculosis, whooping cough, tetanus, very many. Next question. 2a. State 2 adaptations of the frog skin to gaseous exchange. Remember, the frog skin is used as a respiratory surface apart from the mouth cavity or the buccal cavity and the lung alveoli. The skin is also used as a respiratory surface because this frog is an amphibian. It is able to move to aquatic environment and also the dry land. So that's why it has 3 respiratory surfaces depending on the place where it will be. Number 1, the skin is moist to dissolve respiratory gases, and this helps in faster gaseous exchange. Then the skin has a thin membrane, or it is lined with 1 cell thick epithelium to reduce the efficient distance for faster respiratory gases exchange. Then it is highly vascularized. Vascularized means supplied with a dense network of blood capillaries for faster transportation of respiratory gases. Part B. Explain how the human nasal cavity is adapted to gaseous exchange. Number 1, it is lined with hair to trap dust particles on the foreign materials or purify the incoming air. Number 2, it also has mucus, and the mucus moistens or warms the incoming air to trap dust. Part C. Explain why amoeba does not require an elaborate gaseous system. And amoeba is a unicellular organism, and being unicellular, it has a large surface area to volume ratio, and therefore diffusion across its cell membrane is adequate. That is why it does not require an elaborate gaseous exchange system. Part D. Name the respiratory disease caused by Bordetella pertussis, and that is whooping cough. That is whooping cough. Question 3. The diagram below shows a section through mammalian skin, which you can see. Part A, Roman 1. Name the substance produced by the part labeled G. Let's look at G. And G is a sebaceous gland, and the sebaceous gland secretes sebum. Roman 2. State 2 functions of substance named above. That is roles of sebum. Number 1, it keeps the skin supple or moist or soft. Then it is antiseptic, hence kills bacteria. Then makes the skin or hair waterproof or water repellent. Part B. Name part label E, and that is a sweat pore, which enables sweat to be released. And because it is a 1, the label line is pointing to 1, it must be in singular. Part C. Explain the function of part label F to the mammal. Part label F, that is a hair, and the role is thermoregulation. It lies flat when hot to release or emit or allow heat loss, then erects or stands upright when cold to conserve heat. Part D, Roman 1. Name one part of the human body where the conified layer is the thickest, and the conified layer, it is the outermost layer here. They're asking where it is the thickest, and it is the thickest where there is a lot of friction, and that is on the sole of the feet and palm of the hands. Give a reason for your answer. It is thickest because the palm of the hand and the sole of the feet encounter high friction, and manual work on the palm of the hands. We have a lot of manual work being used by the hands. Part 4. 2 dogs with black fur mated and produced an offspring with both black and brown fur. Given letter N represent the gene for black fur, determine the phenotypic ratio of the offspring. Maybe let's look at the question. Two dogs with black fur mated and produce an offspring with both black and brown fur. Given the letter N represent the gene for black fur, determine the phenotypic ratio of the offspring. In this case, both the dogs are, the male and female are black furred. It will be, in this case, it means they are heterozygous. That will be capital N, small n. You cross, this cross is important. Then the gametes will be encircled. The circle should be complete. The label lines, the lines should not cross into the gametes. In this case, there is a fusion. Then the offsprings, we have, this one is homozygous dominant, heterozygous. This one is homozygous recessive. We can use a Punnett square and follow the same way to cross. Phenotypic ratio will be, this one is a black, then black. This one is brown. We're saying this one is black simply because this gene for black color is dominant over this gene for brown color, which is recessive. So the phenotype or the outward expression, this one will be black and black. This one will be brown. The ratio will be 3 black to 1 brown. Part B, the photographs below show a hairy pinna in a human ear. Roman 1, explain why this trait is only found in males. And the trait is sex-linked, and the gene responsible for the hairy pinna is found on the Y chromosome, and that is why it is only found in males, because the males have X and Y, while the females have X and X chromosome. And because hairy pinna is associated with the Y chromosome, the female cannot have the hairy pinna because they lack the Y chromosome. Name one other trait that only appears in males, and that is a premature baldness and a Duchenne muscular dystrophy and a hairy nose, because those genes or those traits are associated with the Y. Then the traits associated with X include color blindness, hemophilia. Those are some of the examples of traits associated with X chromosome. Say the role of sunlight in formation of strong bonds. And this sunlight enables the skin to synthesize vitamin D, which is necessary for formation of strong bonds. Part B, the photograph below shows the dorsal view of a part of the mammalian vertebral column. Roman 1, name the part of the vertebral column shown, and that is a sacral vertebra. And vertebra simply because it is one, it is in singular, or the sacrum simply because these sacral vertebra, they are fused to form one bone called the sacrum. Name part labeled H, and this H is a Kcse. Should write the correct spelling, Kcse. And we can accept caudal vertebrae because the caudal vertebrae, they fuse to form the Kcse, or what we call, in layman's language, we describe it as vestigial tail in man. Roman 3, state 3 ways in which the vertebra shown is adapted to its function. That is a sacral vertebra, and the first adaptation, it has a pre-zygapophysis to articulate with lumbar vertebrae. Then it has a broad centrum to offer support then as a wide neural canal for passage of spinal cord, then fused vertebrae to form a rigid firm structure, then process of neural spine to provide surface for muscle attachment. Then it is a broad or has a broad transverse process for articulation with the ilium should be I here, or provide surface for attachment of back muscles. Then has sacral foramen for passage of nerves and blood vessels. Part C, explain the significance of movement in plants. And the plants move to reach or access light, water or moisture, carbon dioxide, nutrients, and these are important for photosynthesis. They also move to escape harmful environmental conditions, or for safety, or to withstand harsh external forces, as well as for mechanical support. Then the movement also enables fertilization, that is during the chemotropism, that is the growth of pollen tube, which will enable fertilization to take place. Question 6 is about graph. The table below shows a varying concentration of two hormones, progesterone hormone and luteinizing hormone, determined at 7 days intervals along the human menstrual cycle. Time in days, concentration of progesterone in milligrams per centimeter cubic of blood, then concentration of luteinizing hormone, milligram per centimeter cubic of blood. We have day 1, day 7, day 14, day 21, day 28. Then before explain the graph, you can just look at the concentration. At day 1 it is a 2, day 7 it remains 2, then day 14 it is increasing to 24, day 21 it is it has increased to 100, then day 28 it has dropped, drastically dropped to 20. Then luteinizing hormone, day 1 46, day 7 40, that is reducing, then it has increased, or it is highest at day 14, then day 21 it has reduced, day 28 it has further reduced. On the same axis, draw graphs of concentration of hormones against time. And when drawing the graph, the first thing, it is about the scale. You should have a workable scale, not just a scale. And the workable scale can have these are 10 boxes representing 5 days. Then on the other hand, 10 boxes representing 20 milligram per centimeter cubic. That will provide a workable scale. Then the origin must be there, because both of them will start at origin of 0. You extend these lines here, then you put your 0. Then labeling of the x-axis, time in days, then concentration of progesterone and luteinizing hormone in milligram per centimeter cubic of blood, it must be there. Then labeling of these graphs. For example, this one is concentration of luteinizing hormone and concentration of progesterone hormone. And the best place to identify these graphs is at this end, and those words should not touch these lines, like it has touched here. This is wrong, it has touched, should be at the end. Then you should draw a smooth curve, as you should see here. The curve should be smooth, the plotting points should be correct. For example, time in days 1, when I look at concentration of progesterone, it is at 2, then luteinizing 46. For example, 1 is here, time in days 1. When I look at concentration of progesterone 2, I need to see the plotting point here at 1 and 2, and then at 1 and 46 for luteinizing hormone. Let's look at 46. 46 is here. That is how you plot. You use a small cross like shown here. Then the graph will cover at least 3/4 of the grid provided, and the highest limit here, you can see it is 100. 100 is here. The limit is, we have extended our graph to 120. Then on days, the highest is 28. We have reached 35. Let's look at the questions. Part B, Roman 1. Name the physiological process taking place when concentration of luteinizing hormone is highest, and that is during day 14. It is highest, and luteinizing is responsible for ovulation, release of the ovum. That is ovulation. Check the significance of the process above, and that is it enables release of the ovum. Determine the concentration of progesterone hormone at which the endometrium is thickest, and that is 100 milligram centimeter cubic of blood. That is when the concentration of progesterone is highest here. Then explain your answer. Endometrium is thickest when the concentration of progesterone is highest, and that is in preparation of implantation. Part D, state 2 roles of progesterone hormone in humans. Number 1, it inhibits production of luteinizing hormone, inhibits production of follicle stimulating hormone, stimulates thickening of endometrial lining, readiness for implantation, then proliferation of the endometrium. Part E, name 2 sites where progesterone hormone is produced in human body. Number 1, we have corpus luteum, and corpus luteum produces progesterone hormone, that is during the menstrual cycle. Then the placenta also produces progesterone, that is when a female or a lady is pregnant. During pregnancy, placenta takes the role of producing progesterone at the 3rd month. Name another hormone apart from luteinizing hormone that inhibits secretion of progesterone hormone. That is a prolactin hormone. Predict the concentration of progesterone hormone seen days after the study period if fertilization did not take place, and it will remain low or keep decreasing. This is because the corpus luteum will disintegrate or degenerate when there is no fertilization that has taken place. Name the part of human body where luteinizing hormone is produced, and that is a pituitary gland. Question 7. Explain the role of placenta during pregnancy. 10 marks. And the first role is the gaseous exchange, and while answering this question, the best way is to draw a table, the role, and then explanation of the function. Gaseous exchange and enables oxygen moving to the fetus and carbon dioxide out of the fetus. And when explaining, you must state the movement of those materials from where to where. For example, you're stating oxygen moves to the fetus to be used by the fetus, and carbon dioxide out of the fetus to the mother. Then another role of the placenta, we have excretion or removal of metabolic waste, and this is from the fetus to the mother. For example, urea from the fetus and CO2 from the fetus back to the mother. Then nutrition or nourishment, and the placenta provides nutrients which move from the mother to the fetus. Then it is an endocrine or exocrine, or it is glandular, and this means it produces hormones which move into the fetus and which help to maintain pregnancy, the progesterone and estrogen hormone. Then it serves as a barrier or protection because it prevents mixing of material and fetal blood or passage of poisonous harmful pathogens. Then passage of antibodies, and the antibodies move from the mother to the fetus to enable boost immunity of the fetus. Then 7b, explain the features and mechanisms that hinder self-pollination and self-fertilization. In other words, the features that favor cross-pollination. As I've said, you draw a table and explain well and neatly. The first one, you have what you call dichogamy, and dichogamy includes protandry and protogeny. And dichogamy means a mechanism where either the male or female parts of the plant or reproductive organs ripen at different times in some plants. In this case, protandry, stamens ripen earlier than pistil. Then protogeny, pistil or the carpels mature or ripen earlier than the stamen, and this will inhibit self-pollination. Feature number 2, we have self-sterility or incompatibility, and the pollen grains cannot germinate on the stigma of the same plant or flower. The third one, we have heterostyle, and this is a condition where the stigma is above or higher than the anthers or stamen. Then fourth one, we have dioecious, and the plants have reproductive parts located separately on different plants of the same species. The best example is a pawpaw plant. And then monoecious, plants have the reproductive parts located at different parts on the same plant, e.g. the maize plant. Next question, question 8a. Describe how xylem tissue is structurally adapted to its function, 5 marks. And xylem tissue first consists of xylem vessels and xylem tracheids. And the xylem tracheids are narrow to enhance capillarity. These xylem vessels are also tubular or hollow or running continuously from root to the leaves for continuous column of water. And their walls are strengthened with lignin, which prevents them from collapsing or provides support for the plant. And the vessels and tracheids have bordered pits to allow lateral passage of water. And that means the side passage of water. The tracheids have perforated cross walls to allow movement of water. Then 8b, describe the functions of blood in human body, 15 marks. You draw a table, the blood component and the function. And before we talk about the function of blood components, the blood components, we have plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and thrombocytes. Those are the components of blood. Let's start with plasma. And the function transports vitamins, mineral salts, digested food, nutrients to where they are needed. Apart from that, they transport hormones from places of secretion to target organs or to the tissues. You must explain from where to where in order for you to get the correct marks. Then also transport enzymes to tissues where they are required to catalyze certain reactions. They also transport waste products, e.g. urea, creatinine, carbon dioxide to excretory organs. Then also transport antibodies for defense against pathogens. Then they play a thermoregulatory role by distributing heat. Then regulation of body fluid pH or the tissue fluid or intercellular pH. The next component we have red blood cells or the erythrocytes, and they transport oxygen from lungs to different body tissues and carbon dioxide from tissues to lungs, and this for purification. Then white blood cells or the leukocytes, they protect the body against infection or pathogens. The last bit we have thrombocytes or the platelets, and their role is a clotting of blood or protects the body tissues from damage and prevents excess, the keyword excess, loss of blood, and also prevents entry of pathogens. And that is the end of our analysis. Thank you.